time. So yeah, I mean, you know, if I wanted to leave something to somebody, just be the researcher. Get more. If something comes to you, and I want to say this: to have faith in yourself and what comes to you. There's a lot of email. I would relieve myself of 20% of my email if niggas just believed in themselves.
Yeah.
They'll tell me all of this stuff, and I'm like, well, why are you telling me? You answering your own question.
Right.
Why don't you just believe it? You're looking for me to validate it for you. You don't need that. You don't want that. You get what I'm saying? And I don't want to be the guy to validate some shit for you. You get what I'm saying? That's not what this shit is all about. What this shit is all about is you doing what you need to do, and then you believing in yourself. It's really down to that. You believing in yourself. A lot of people can't make progress because they second guess themselves. That's one of the biggest things. You'll even find that shit on the book level. They'll second, did I do it right? You know what I'm saying? Did I do it right? There's no such thing. What is right? What is wrong? And if you
I'm sorry. I just wanted to get this in because you're making some amazing points here. A lot of what I talk about in the sessions, but you said something that was just very, very key, and that is when you do reach out, because we all have people, like you said, the circles that we sit in. We all have people that we trust to give a lending ear, whether that person be Brother Panic or whether you come to me for a session, whoever that is, whether it's your mother, your mate, or a friend that you go to. Once you've done that, ask yourself the question, how many people have to tell you the same thing before you get it? Sometimes, you know, in a session, a person will come to me and they've gone to 50, 60 other people, and they'll come back and say, well, I called this person and I called. Like, what are you doing that for? Begin, like you said, it's about trusting yourself and not having, like, to have to go so many different places, you know, sort of start to build your foundation.
Well, that's actually a big part of it. I'm glad we're having this conversation because I've said it before. Let me say it again. You know, people, you know, me and Bobby, we spent, I would have to say about, we spent 5 years, 6 years, but like at least fucking 40,000 hours, man hours of phone time alone. And as I look back, I said, okay, I get the true meaning of teacher. All the things I wanted to do, he was there as a support system and primarily kept the humanity in check for me. The humanity is what's going to fuck you up. So primarily, it's the mentality. Listen now. It's the mentality that most people lack when they're doing this. If you could get that mentality going, and all I've been talking about in this last half an hour is trying to get you in the mentality of it. You get what I'm saying? Listen closely. I want you to understand this, people. If you have to put a status message up every moment, you know what you're saying, I don't believe it. I don't believe it. I need other people to tell me it's deep so I could even believe this shit. Do you understand this concept? So when I see it, understanding what I understand, I'm not looking at what you said as deep or not deep, or the fact that you're saying it on Facebook. The fact that you have a need to say it shows that you don't have the inner fortitude that you believe it, and it doesn't matter what anybody else believes. Right. Everyone has their own opinion. So some people may synchronize with yours, some may not. That's the name of the game called humanity. So you don't even want to buy into that process of trying to get people to get you to believe as you believe. The only person you need to convince is yourself. You get what I'm saying? Yourself. And that's where people are not convinced. That's what I'm talking about when you're sending me email. You're not convinced, so you need me to convince you. That's a part of low self-esteem. Or if you want to look at it in a better way, that's your human body telling you, your human ego telling you, no, nigga, no, nigga. Your ego, a part of your ego, what it's supposed to do is a player hate you. Any new thing that you're introduced to, your ego as a form of protection, what it does is tell you no, no. It'll tell you no, no, no until you have overwhelming evidence or proof to eventually go past the ego or the conscious mind until it starts entering the subconscious mind as repetition. Yeah. So that's why it's key. That's what chanting, mantra, sitting in postures are about, because all of that, like you sitting in a posture and it hurts, it starts to break the subconscious. You mantra, you keep repeating it over and over, it goes through the conscious and breaks through the subconscious. I told you lighting candles, the flicker, alpha state. Yes. Alpha state goes past the conscious and starts hitting the alpha waves or the subconscious mind. So all of these things that start to are a form of mind controlling your own self. Yeah. Reprogramming your own self, reprogramming your subconscious mind. You get what I'm saying? So a lot of this conscious behavior is only you actually showing what color your panties are when you're doing this shit now online. Now, like I said, for the greatest network of conscious people have emerged under this umbrella called Facebook. So you have now. So a lot of people are showing their panties not on a how much you know and how much you could repeat level, the fact that you need to show how much you know and need to show how much you can repeat. That's the real story. You get what I'm saying? That's how you're actually exposing yourself, because when you're content, you don't need to do that. You get what I'm saying? You don't need to do that. If you're the fire chief, you don't need to walk around telling everybody you're the fire chief unless you went fucking crazy.
Right, and that's exactly... Right. That's exactly what the sacred sessions do. It gives you a foundation so you can begin to build upon and work your own magic from there. So you can start to get into the foundations of your work and begin to continue to work from there. So for those who've had those, I've got your reflections back that show, and it shows here, like you said, they are doing their work. They're definitely doing their work.
The idea, the concept of faith is, it's been moved to having faith or blind faith. There's a difference between blind faith and having faith in what it is you know. If you know thyself, you'll start to have faith in thyself. And that unbreakable faith in yourself is a knowing. One of the men I've met on this planet with the most unbreakable faith is Bobby Hemmett. Yeah. This motherfucker, once that nigga believe it, you might as well believe the shit too, no matter what it is, because you are not breaking that shit. You get what I'm saying?
Right.
Which is where everyone should be trying to go, to know thyself and have unbreakable faith in thyself, full absolution in what it is you're doing. I don't see that with people. I hear them all excited. Somebody come and say something else or against another guy who said something in a blog talk, and all of a sudden they on his team. You get what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Or they're just listening to anybody and everybody, not extracting what it is they need from all people for them, but just in the middle of the sermon. So this unbreakable faith that you need to find in yourself, you get what I'm saying? That is the know thyself. That is, you cannot obtain that until you have a belief in yourself. Till you say, fuck it, it's crazy, but it's my crazy. You get what I'm saying?
It can't be. You can't fool yourself.
Yeah, you can fool yourself. And I'm going further to say, once someone has dealt with themselves thoroughly, which is the true consciousness of know thyself, you can't fool them neither. Right. I'm saying I can't be fooled. It's not by what you're saying. I'm going beyond the surface. Right. You get what I'm saying? And that's what consciousness is, for everyone to go beyond the surface. I.e., when that little girl, Willow Smith, is waving her hair, just complain about it. You on the surface, player. You're not in the consciousness. You're supposed to be finding the divinity in this little girl doing that bullshit. Find it, nigga. Find it. You get what I'm saying? Find it. That's consciousness. You see what I'm saying? That's consciousness. So the mere fact, it's not even what you're saying. And I'll do you one better. You may have a very valid point.
Yes.
But so what?
Everybody's right.
So what? Everybody's right. You had a valid human point. So what? Kudos to you. But still, it's not the consciousness you're looking for. It's not what you're looking for. What you're looking for is to be able to find the God-goddess element in all that shit and then sucking up that energy and becoming it again. Find the God-goddess energy in a pile of shit. Yeah. Call it goddamn manure. and fertilizer, but it's still a pile of shit. You get what I'm saying? It's how you look at it. You get what I'm saying?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? It's how you